and welcome to 647, 6 stories for 7 a.m. because, well, there's a famine of truth in our land. And this is your quick news fix. And the truth starts now. And guess what? The 647 Tapas Bar is open, and the chef has a tasting menu for you today, right? So we have the government shutdown update. We have the Amazon grocery update. We have the sleep aging your brain, the Trump RX add-on, and the asteroid hitting the moon. If you can't be happy with that, then you can't be happy. All right, let's go. All right, government shutdown update. So, mass firings in 48 hours. You got to wonder why. Why are the Dems playing right into the hands of President Trump and Russ Vought, right? Russ Vought is the one who's looking out over this whole deranged government on steroids, and his job is to shrink it down. So they offered buyouts, 152,000 blue bureaucrats took them. And now, 48 hours from now, 2 days from now, he's got a whole firing plan. There's something else going on, folks. This shutdown is a shiny object. Okay, what's a shiny object mean? It means it's supposed to distract you, right? You're supposed to be like a largemouth bass, seeing something ripping through the water and just attacking it, not thinking. So, mass firings in 48 hours, money to run out for the WIC program, which is women, infants, and children. They don't care about that. And for Democrats, this is a big political football. And no money for troops starting October 15th. So these are the stakes in terms of high emotion and what you do when you get in front of the cameras. It has nothing to do with the reality. And none of this needed to happen at all. It's just politics and the awful selfishness of power. So all theater paid for by Soros. Soros is paying off all the Dems to do this. Trust me, they're not stupid people. They're playing into Trump's hands. But Soros is a manufactured toy of the Brits, and the Brits are the ones that created the Fed and the whole balanced budget nonsense. And if you really want to dig deep into that, you got to go to Promethean Action, which is a fantastic resource that Pat keeps queuing me up on, and he's right, all right? But this is all theater, and Soros has paid off Schumer and his group. And what's the side game on all this? It's AOC attacking Chucky's flank to take his Senate seat as queen of the lefties. Then, guess what? That's not even the plan. The plan is for her to run for president, right? Then she's going to grab Slick out in California for her VP and Rumba to the White House as the first female photo op Faux, Sandy from the Bronx, president media creation since. All right. And Slick, well, he'll be Ken to her Barbie. All right. Second Tapas item. Amazon launches grocery brand with the most products. It's Amazon Grocery, and it's 1,000 items under $5. So Jeff Bezos, he really cares about your budget. Or an alternative idea, feed the fools faux food, right? Feed the fools faux food before Bobby K outlaws it. What are you going to get for under $5? Well, you get a full bag. Anyway, this is Jeff's big plan, and we'll see what happens with it. All right, next on the tasting menu is a sleep study from Solna, Sweden. Tossing and turning at night might be doing more than just leaving you groggy the next morning. A major new study suggests that poor sleep habits could be physically aging your brain. I know that's going on. This fun endeavor causes me to divide my sleep. I get part of it in the evening and I get part of it in the afternoon. And then on Tuesday, when I'm recording the Wednesday show, I'm telling you all it's Tuesday. So now you didn't get the hump day speech, and I can't give it now because I'm Wednesday night doing Thursday. Is this confusing? It shouldn't be for me, but apparently I'm not getting the right sleep. Okay? So this major new study suggests that poor sleep habits could be physically aging your brain, making it appear a year older than it should be on average. The study published in eBiomedicine used advanced brain imaging and machine learning to estimate brain age. Okay? So they give you 5 sleep habits that protect your brain. And these are lame. But where are they doing this? In Sweden? I guess it's big news. Okay, so being an early bird rather than a night owl. Okay? I think they also said don't start a news podcast. It's somewhere in there. Getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep per day. That would help, right? Is that the first time you heard that? Rarely experiencing insomnia might help. Wow. And then not snoring. All right. I don't believe I snore, but I get constant reports over my lifetime. That's not the case. I don't know. But not feeling excessively sleepy during the day. Okay. So don't do that. Don't feel sleepy during the day. They're saying that's bad. So only 41% of participants had what researchers classified as healthy sleep. So I'm in the 59% group. All right. So Trump's pharmaceutical deal with Pfizer, right? We talked about that yesterday. Pfizer, with both arms twisted behind their back and threats of all kinds of hell coming to them, are giving 50 to 85% discounts on the majority of their drug lines. And guess what? Today, Eli Lilly said, yeah, we're going to join up too. Trump, he's winning on so many fronts, it's unbelievable. You remember when the New Orleans Saints were heading to the Super Bowl and the whole team was yelling, who dey, who dey? Well, here's a new one. Who dem? Who dem? These Dems are lost, man. They are getting trampled in the shuffle. Who dem, baby? Forget about them. All right. And then the final offering from the chef is Asteroid. This is the name of the asteroid, 2024 YR4, right? It's 220 feet across, and it is going to smack the moon in 2032. Now, what do you think it's going to do to the moon? Not much at 220 feet across, but they're afraid that there's going to be a huge debris field that is then going to get in the way of all of our low Earth orbit stuff, like the International Space Station and all the satellites that are up there. And there's going to be 1,000-foot wide debris field spreading around. And who knows about all this? I think they should just notify Elon and tell him that he should make a space plow and shoot it up there and then have the space plow just push that thing out of the orbit. Anyway, it's not going to impact the moon till 2032, and YR4 could end up being Y2K. All right, enough with the tapas. Take 2. Oh, joy. This is from the Frankenstein files. You'll be so happy to hear this. Babies can now be born via IVF embryos with 2 genetic fathers and no DNA from a woman. I know we were all wondering when this was going to happen. I know I thought about it constantly. Why have a baby with a woman? And by the way, what is a woman? I don't know. It's too much for me. So genetic fathers, 2 genetic fathers, and no DNA from a woman. So what is a woman? This is such great news for furries. Now we can replace the DNA from a female egg with the genetic material from a person's skin and turn it into a sex cell ready for fertilization. Anybody wanted this? I don't know. The end game, two guys can have a child with both of their DNA, right? So this new process is called mitomeiosis. The team has created 82 eggs so far from skin, fertilized them in the lab with sperm, but only 9% became blastocytes, i.e., something that you could put into a donor woman. But all of these blastocytes had horrible chromosomal abnormalities. So, as Fauci says, I am the science. There'll be more from the Frankenstein files, I guarantee you. These sick, I can't say enough about it. And as a Christian, I'm not unbiased about it. Okay, so I'm going to obliterate it if I can. But the furries, they got a lot of money. Two guys, they don't want to have a woman's DNA in their kid. You know, it's just so beautiful. All right, take three. Trump's beautiful blue bureaucrat buyout. 152,000 federal bureaucrats accepted Trump's buyout deal and will all be off the federal payroll this week. Note, this would be a great time to short North Virginia real estate. Remember, the MAGA meme is think, shrink, right? We want a smaller government. And these folks, wow, were they taking up space. And the left will paint this as a doomsday loss of institutional knowledge. What they mean is a source of leaks and lies. The American people will notice no difference in the non-existent government customer service we're all accustomed to, right? I told you about this organ donor crisis. I went to the DMV the next day. I had to sit there for 2.5 hours just to get that donor symbol off my license. Unbelievable. Incredible service. All right, take 4. President AOC preview. So on MSDNC Tuesday, Sandy from the Bronx, acronym AOC, said this is Trump's government shutdown to just make sure that kids are dying because they don't have access to insurance. Anybody buying that? Anybody think that's a great counterline when you everyone knows that the Dems keep voting against the clean CR bill that would have allowed all this not to happen? No, they did it. They did it because they were paid to do it. And AOC has also been queued up for this. This was not a spontaneous interview. It's like watching the T-ball Olympics, right? So she must have been up all night working on that line, probably with Adam Schiff and Maxine Waters, right? Elocutionists. So again, this was all staged with softball planted questions like a T-ball Olympics, with Sandy ready to slam each wiffle ball question out of the park like the thoughtful, vociferous stateswoman she ain't. But it is a reveal. It's a reveal that they're not going with Schumer. They probably will let AOC take Schumer's seat. She'll primary him. They'll put all their money behind it. It's all a fixed game with these clowns. Then they'll claim that, just like they did with Hillary, that Sandy's a senator and that qualifies her to be president. And then what would happen? The left wants minority Barbie for president with slick in tow. It will look just like the Barbie movie, the Pink movie. You remember, hopefully most of you missed it, but in New York City, everyone dressed for it. It was that important. Reprobate minds, right? Broken minds. Grown-up women all dressed like Barbie in blonde wigs and pink outfits. What could go wrong in an environment like that? Well, when you do that kind of stuff, you get momdamied. Okay, so take 5. Help me solve this puzzle. Okay, this is a little complex. I can't find the answers to these questions, but there's a lot going on, and it all goes under the label, you can't handle the truth. So help me solve the puzzle. All right, Tuesday night, we had the government shutdown, right? Everything stops, and then the Dems playing into Trump's hand because Soros paid them off. That's another piece of the puzzle. They're not that stupid to do this. They're not that stupid to make themselves look this bad. And guess what? It hasn't really even started yet. But this shutdown is the shiny object. It's the thing we're all supposed to be looking at. Oh my gosh, am I going to get my Social Security? Oh my gosh, what about all the babies and infants and women and children? They're all going to lose their nutrition benefits. Trump's going to starve them. Sandy from the Bronx told me. That's the shiny object, okay? What happened on Monday? Netanyahu flies over from Israel. It's always wonderful to see Bibi arrive in D.C. So he and Trump have a very low-key meeting, right? You didn't hear much about it. What happened the day before that, on Sunday? Well, we were all distracted. It's NFL time and all that other American nonsense. But something was going on across airfields all across the United States, 12 to 17, depending on the report you read. Boeing KC-135T Stratotankers take off. These are huge planes. They take off from various U.S. air bases and all fly to England with fighter jets in tow, right? Fighter jet can't make that flight across the pond, has to be hooked up to a tanker. So they get there, and then Monday, they leave England. Where do they go? Well, some fly to Germany, some fly to Qatar, and they basically get spread out around the CENTCOM Middle East theater of activity. Okay, that was Monday. What happened Tuesday? 800 generals were informed the Friday before, right? These are guys who have these schedules. Don't bother my schedule, whatever you do, right? They notify them on Friday, blow up all their weekend plans, and tell them they have to be in D.C. on Tuesday for a new sheriff in town, haircuts and beards speech, which I believe is more theater. I don't believe they dragged all those guys in there, even though I loved excess speech, but that's a lot of personnel to bring from all around the world. And do you really believe that there's nothing to do with 12 to 17 tankers flying to England and then going to Qatar and spreading out in the CENTCOM theater of activity and 800 generals all coming together? I don't think it's about mustaches, beards, and haircuts, but I can't figure it out. Then here's another interesting puzzle piece. 2 different reports today on the USS Gerald R. Ford, which is the largest aircraft carrier in the world. One report says that on Monday, it arrived off the coast of Norway, right? So if you're Vlad, that should get you twitching a little bit. All these tankers towing all these fighters, and then the biggest aircraft carrier in the world is now up a little north of you. And then there's another report that says today it was entering the Straits of Gibraltar. I can't get confirmation on any of this stuff. And who would be worried about that? Well, if I was a Houthi and I had been messing up international shipping and I have been talking smack all the time to the Israelis and the US, I might be looking for a Houthi hot dog roast. But you tell me, because those are all the pieces. There's a bunch of ways they could come together. And the only official word, where was it? This is to give President Trump options. That's the only explanation you can get. He needs options. Man, that's a lot of hardware, a lot of personnel, a lot of fuel, and a lot of options. Pick your target. Pick your negotiation. I don't know. I don't even want to start throwing out conjecture, but if you have a compelling piece of information, I would love to hear about it. All right. Take 6, the ARMS, Advanced Reprobate Mind Studies. You know, I create these things, and then the other day I was calling it AWS, right? It's a Bezos thing. All right, so this is Black women with millions whose reprobate minds see racist boogeymen at every ATM. So first we have Leslie Jones on The Daily Show. Why does America have so much hatred for Black people? Actress, comedian, and Biden-Harris 2020 surrogate Leslie Jones, whose net worth is a reported $7 million. I don't know how she makes ends meet in this racist place. Why does America have so much hatred for Black people? She goes, by the way, 40 acres and a mule is not enough anymore. I want 40 acres and a trust fund. How about that? Matter of fact, throw in the mule if you want to. I need something to carry my money. Leslie, you need something to carry your Tylenol. Start taking it, will you? All right. That's just one Black woman. Here's another Black woman that we all know. Serena Williams, right? Retired from tennis. She's worth an estimated $350 million. But that reprobate mind, it will not let her go. So here's the scene. She's in a 5-star hotel, the best in New York City. She's promoting for Kim Kardashian. So she's paid fat money to promote Kim's Nike Skims product. And there's nothing but A-list Hollywood types, along with Martha Stewart, all in the audience to see Serena and to virtue signal. And Serena is leaving her room and going to the elevator to go down, and you're not going to believe this, but opposite the elevator was a flower arrangement, and somebody thoughtlessly used cotton plants to kind of augment the arrangement, and they had cotton balls on them. And Serena saw that, and it triggered her because of her slave relatives who were forced to pick cotton. And she pulled a cotton ball off and looked at it and looked very upset. Of course, there was someone taking a video for all this. And then she dropped it on the ground and said, so thoughtless that people wouldn't think that I would be triggered. I hope she got over it. I mean, she could always just look at her bank account and say, what kind of lucky person am I, smacking a tennis ball around and getting this kind of money and still getting it? Because all these corporations got to have some Serena. But Serena got the broken mind. But you don't have the broken mind. You know what you have to do. You have to like us. You have to share us. You have to make comments. I gave you a puzzle. I'm asking you to figure it out. I don't know what the answer is, but you might know. You can at least conjecture and send me something. And if you're not going to do that, or even if you do, I want you to push us out to your network. We got to get out there. This is a product that you can't get this product anywhere else in the country. So that's what you have to do. And guess what? It's Glide Slope Thursday. You can't fool me or distract me with shiny objects. Glide Slope Thursday. That's right. What do you have to do? You have to, as pilot of your own craft, you have to push that yoke forward till you feel that nose going down. And then you're going to get the perfect glide slope, and it's going to take you all the way through Thursday, then Friday, and to the weekend. And guess what? The whole reason you can do all of that is because the great God Almighty, who created everything, including you, and wants relationship with you, and I'm telling you, he is going to bless you. So God bless you, and get on with your Thursday. And solve the puzzle for me, because it's bothering me.